Hello, great gents. Hope you guys are good and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a part 2 on exam type questions for sequences. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. We can tell that we are given a linear pattern. So linear pattern meaning it's an arithmetic sequence. We're going to use the formula. Let me just type it out right now. So remember what I said in the last session. I said with sequences, you try to find clues or you try to make deductions from the first statement that you're given before you attempt to answer your question. So like we did in this instance, we were told that it's a linear pattern. So immediately we know, okay, fine, it's an arithmetic sequence, right? We can try to look for A, we can try to look for D, but I feel like, as you can see with question number 1, we are going to be given clues on how to actually deal with it. You get what I mean? But if it was not like anything, like you see this is complicated. If it was not as complicated as this, then straight up you would have been looking for your D, you would have been looking for your A, right? So that's the first step. That's the first thing you have to do. So sharp, it's okay that, okay, fine, for now we'll just have to highlight the formula. Fine. It says if x is 0, calculate the numeric value of the fourth term, hence determine the nth term of the sequence. So this question is twofold. First, you have to calculate the numeric value of the fourth term, and then you have to determine the nth term of the sequence. So it means that if, for example, x is equals to 0, x is equals to 0, x is equals to 0, you're going to be left with 2, you're going to be left with 4, you're going to be left with 6. So they added the x's to try to confuse you, unless they have a utility, like when we get to the lower questions. But for now, it seems as though they were just there to try to trick you, to try to intimidate you. So we are asked to determine the numeric value of the fourth term. Okay, fine. What can we say about these terms right here? They have a common difference of 2. So contrary to what we saw on the previous video where the numbers were decreasing as you went along the pattern, here we see an increase. So it means that your D is positive 2. And then your A is 2, right? So these are just notes, by the way. You don't have to write these. Let's just answer our question. Our numeric value for the fourth term. The fourth term is equal to 8. Because essentially, you just say 6 plus 2, that's 8. And then how do you determine the nth term? You can use the formula and apply, substitute until you get the final answer. But we know that essentially the answer is 2n, right? Because it is the multiples of 2. But let's just write it down because you don't want to say, it's obvious. And you don't want to write everything down. You must just write everything down because in this instance, something like this can count for like 4 marks, right? So if you just simply write 2n, I mean, Tn equals to 2n, and you write the fourth term is equal to 8. That's 2 marks. So you don't know, okay, fine, am I losing 2 marks basically for not stating or for not showing that it's actually 2n? So even if it's straight out simple, show everything because that's where the marks are. A lot of people lose marks even though their answers are correct. They lose marks because they don't show proof for where they got their answers, right? So I was yapping, I know, but it's A. So we know that A is 2 plus n minus 1. And then D is 2. Positive 2 times positive n, it's 2n. Positive 2 and negative 1 is negative 2. The positive 2 and the negative 2 cancel out and you are left with 2n. And then that's your final answer, right? So we've answered question 1. Let's move on to question 2. So question 2 says, calculate the value of the 18th term. So it's equals to 2n, which is 218. So what's your final answer? Your final answer is 36. Question 3. Which term in the sequence will be equal to 108? So you have to say 108 is equal to 2n. So what's 108 divided by 2? Here it is 54. And then you're done. Here it says determine the largest value. Okay, so question 4 says determine the largest value of n for which Tn is less than 166. So you just have to say 2n is less than 166 and then divide both sides by 2, and then you're left with n. Just rewrite it as the 83rd term, and then you're done. Now, the final question. It says the following values are multiples of 5. So if it is multiples of 5, then we know that we have Tn is equals to 5n, right? So now it says determine the 16th even number of this pattern. So we encountered a similar question in the previous video, right? So we are going to approach it in the same way. Basically, what you have to do is you have to note, okay, the first term, right? When the position number is odd, the value is odd. And then when the position number is even, the value, not the number, but the value is even. So like I said, you look at this, okay, fine, position number 1. 5 is an odd number, the position number is an odd number. 10 is an even number, the position number is an even number. 15 is an odd number. 15 is an odd number. Position 3 is an odd number, and so, right? So if you've gotten a question like this, you say, what's 16 times 2? 16 times 2 is 32. So 1 and then 2. This is how you would write it in your head. So it's mental notes, by the way. Okay, sharp. We said that when the position number is odd, the value is odd. These 1, 2, 3, 4, what represents the position numbers. So we know, okay, fine. We have 16 even values and then 16 odd values. On the side it is even numbers, and then on the side it is numbers. So we know we have 2. It's the 16 even. So going back to answer this, I hope this makes sense, guys, like, because we've encountered the same thing. But going back to the answer, right, you're gonna say Tn by 32, and then that's the value of the 16th even number. So it's 5 times 32, it is 1/6.